Stay tuned and let's take a look at this G.I. Joe classified series, Gung-Ho. Ciao and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember, you can now hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Quite simply show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today, I'm opening up this G.I. Joe classified series, Wave 2, Gung-Ho. So you know, throughout the month of June, I'm sporadically opening up my G.I. Joe classified series figures that I've been buying this past year, like many of you, to build my little collection. I just didn't really do many reviews for the channel, so I am using Hasbro's Yo Joe June as an excuse to finally open some of these up. And I'm liking what I've opened so far. Go and check out the playlist on the channel for the G.I. Joe classified series, or check out the videos tab as I compared the variants from Wave 1. And I'm liking what I'm seeing in regards to the colour tones, and they definitely seem to pay attention here with Wave 2, as this is where we start to see that colour palette change a little bit from the sort of blues and the golds to the more sort of traditional military colours, as we have the greens here on Gung-Ho, who's a famous Marine, of course, with the G.I. Joe figures. So yeah, very happy to add another character to the shelf for the good guys, and Gung-Ho looks massive in the box. I believe he shares the same body as Roadblock, but he comes with some weapons, a little backpack. There we have his image on the front that wrapped round to the side. On the back we get the poster that we've got with most of Wave 1 and 2, and we've basically got all of these figures now. I just need to do a few more reviews on the channel, and I've virtually opened them all. We yet to have any Alley Vipers though. I'd really like to see them in the future on the classified series, especially in the orange and blue. I think that would look great. But yeah, we've basically got all of these now made in figure form, so I expect to see this poster slowly evolve as we open up more figures and moving forward. But there we have him. There's number 7, of course, on the side. So I've opened up a few, but let's get Gung-Ho on the shelf. So here we have Gung-Ho out of the box with all of his accessories on the table, which includes his little arsenal of 3 guns, as well as a backpack to store them. And I do like that element of storing all the accessories with a figure for display. Of course, we're going to find out if you can also kit bash them to create a Reaver for your Marvel Legends display, because it is Dan Who Reviews after all, but we'll wait for the end to do that. Let's first of all just check out this figure. So if I move his backpack out the way, let's just measure him up a little bit, because this guy's big. So with his hat on, he is just under 7 inches, just under, and so he's definitely going to tower amongst your previous Wave 1 figures, apart from maybe Roadblock. Maybe Roadblock's about the same height. Yeah, there you go. So the hat makes him look a little bit taller, but still, we'll do some comparisons at the end. But still, first thoughts, looks very nice. As I said, I preferred these muted sort of military colours with the greens. The guns are all moulded in a silvery sort of colour, sort of a dirty silver, if you will. And I'm sure these are Nerf guns to some extent. You know what Hasbro's like, but still, at least they're not crazy laser guns. You can sort of fudge them in if you wanted to. There are still elements of that sort of updated G.I. Joe tone, if you will, as we've got that sort of communicator up there, and he's got a bit of silver there on his wrist sort of gauntlet, if you will, and he's still got the shin pads as well, but at least the colours are toned down a little bit. But let's zoom in, take a closer look. Starting off up top, and the first thing to mention is the hat is unfortunately inaccurate. Obviously Gung-Ho is a Marine, and this hat isn't the attire that a Marine should be wearing. Sometimes these are the small details that are overlooked in the classified series, which is a shame, because these military characters mean a lot to a lot of people. But thanks to people like Bobby Valor and the Action Force, if you get yourself a declassified set from Big Bad Toy Store, you may be able to correct that issue. But obviously Bobby Valor shouldn't be doing that for people. Hasbro should be doing their research first and foremost. So yeah, not the accurate hat. And if you take the hat off, which of course it does come off, Gung-Ho, I'm not sure if he had a Mohican or any type of hair before in the original look, but he has got hair here now. But let's just ignore that. Let's pretend Gung-Ho should have a little mohawk. I do like the face sculpt with the sort of mutton chop, sort of Hulk Hogan style beard, if you will. Looks pretty rough and gruff, if you will. Looks a bit weathered, like he's been through it and he's not happy about it, but he looks ready for battle at the same time. I do like the head sculpt. Of course, it's not based on any particular person, but it looks like it could be. Do you know, like, that's how good the digital face printing is these days. So yeah, looks very, very good. Moving around, let me just zoom out a little bit now. So obviously the head has a bit of articulation, and we'll get into that in a minute. But the jacket is a nice bulky green jacket, and you can see these grenades up here are actually sculpted onto the jacket, which are a nice touch as well. They're all separately sculpted. They don't come off though, unfortunately. They're glued to the jacket. Spin it around, you can sort of see the sculpt of the jacket has these like silver sort of highlights, if you will, that sort of shine under the light. So I don't hate that, to be fair. It sort of just brings out the sculpt, so I'm not mad about that. But there is some sort of armor and some buckles and some pouches and whatnot. There we get that communicator that we've seen on Duke and a few others. It seems to be like the sort of classified series. As I said, a modern twist on some of these some of these G.I. Joe classic designs. So I don't hate that too much. I definitely don't mind just that compared to the gold shin pads, and this guy definitely doesn't have gold shin pads, but we'll get there in a second. Obviously you can take the jacket off, and there we have that insignia on the front of the chest, which is very important to Gung-Ho. Of course, the bare arms though, apart from like an elbow pad here, and that's very loose as well. Like, it's just a soft rubber piece, and that is pretty loose. Like, you could take that off if you wanted to, but it does sit there over the elbow. Just when you articulate it, will probably hold in place a little bit. It doesn't hinder the articulation too much because you can move it around once you've articulated. So yeah, you've got a soft sort of elbow pad there, but there you go. You can sort of work with the articulation, I guess, but that's very loose. On this side we get like a little wrist pad, and again that's loose, but it can come off. I guess if you took the hand off, you'd be able to take that off. So if you wanted complete bare arms for your Gung-Ho, then yes, of course, you can do exactly that. I've took the elbow pad off this arm, and then I've took the wrist sort of gauntlet off that arm. So again, you can sort of tweak your characters to your desire, but we'll keep them off just for a second as we move down to the trousers. So he's got like this camo design on the pants, which I don't mind too much. See, I'm saying pants, that's how much the Americans have an influence on me these days. Trousers, camo trousers, if you will. Then we get like this sort of, I don't know what it is, grenades or some sort of equipment attached here to a harness, and that's a separate piece as well that will move around a little bit. We've got one knee pad which is just black, the other one's sort of a bit more muted with the colours of the trousers, and then the shin pads are still there, but this time they're silver rather than gold. So I don't mind that they're muted. I don't mind them having these little silver shin pads with the black boots. Again, these are like updated versions, sort of modernised versions of your G.I. Joe characters. Imagine these G.I. Joe characters just jumped into the future a little bit, I guess. I guess you've got to use your imagination. They're toys after all. But yeah, overall, don't hate the character design. Now, obviously, the hat's a big deal to a lot of people, but the hat is there, and it pops on there easy as well, by the way. Like, really does. It just pops on. There's no plug or peg. It's literally hollow. But the way they've moulded it, you can literally just put it on there, and it won't come off at all. So, yeah. Does it work backwards? Yeah, it works backwards as well if you wanted to have a hip Gung-Ho. If you wanted to, but again, that's probably just offending many, many people. Even the hat's offending people. Let's just take it off entirely. But yeah, let's have a look at his accessories. So not including the hat, of course, he comes with 3 guns. Now, again, I don't think these are based on any real life guns. These are like futuristic ones. But he has 2 sort of long ones, and then one that's some sort of a grenade launcher of some sort, and then he has a backpack that he can hold all these in. I'll put it on the back in a minute, but these literally, these guns will clip in so that you can carry them and again store your accessories on the figure. So we'll try that in a minute, but there you go, there's the back piece, and I'm assuming that just goes in the peg on the back. So yeah, let's check that, but let's first see if he will hold these weapons. So there's the first one, the sort of long barreled gun. He can hold that no problem at all. And as you can see, the trigger finger hand goes through the trigger, no problem at all. And he's even holding on to the sort of reload barrel bit there. So yeah, he can hold that one. Now he can hold the second one as well. He can grip it with both hands like the first, but it's a different design. I don't even know if he should be holding that bit, but the trigger's definitely there. Both hands, of course, have trigger fingers so he can hold it. But that wasn't easy to do, but it doesn't look too bad once he's got it in hand. But again, if I take that out, again, is he meant to hold that section? I don't know, but he can if you finagle it, because of course underneath the jacket you've got some nice butterfly joints. And the third one he can hold double-handed as well. This one sort of has the barrel on it, but it's short and stumpy. I don't know if it works too well. I think I prefer the other guns, but he can hold this one with both hands as well. A little bit harder to get him to grip it, but it can definitely work. But yeah, you can definitely get him posed up in a weapon, no problem at all. So I showed you the backpack, but again, it's no detail in regards to paint, but it is sculpted nicely, much thinner than your average backpack with that long peg to go through the peg on the back of the jacket and into the back of the figure. So you just have to finagle it a little bit to find the hole. Honestly, it's not usually something I have a problem with, but there it is, it's in. So now you can put the weapons on. There you go, and they both do have a particular side. If you try and put the guns on the wrong side, they're very loose and will fall out. So it's like the thicker gun on this side, the longer one on there, and then if you turn it around, it paints a nice silhouette with his weapons over the back there. So you're best off getting to hold this one. I think he can store that one on the back of this, but it just didn't work out very well. It wouldn't hold without sticking out. It just looked weird. But again, if you want to include the hat, the inaccurate hat, and have him holding all his weapons, then you can definitely have him on the shelf posed up with absolutely everything. And I do appreciate it when action figures can do that. It means I don't have to store them. They can just sit on the shelf with all their accessories. And yeah, Gung-Ho looks good. Looks like he fits into the G.I. Joe team. Colour palette's nice. Big bulky character. Yeah, very nice. Getting into some comparisons, here we have Gung-Ho compared to Roadblock and Duke, and as you can see, he looks much bigger than them both. Now, Roadblock is a big character in himself, and they basically share the same body. It's just that Gung-Ho's head seems to be a little bit bigger, and obviously with the hat on and those additional accessories attached to his back, he does look like a bigger, chunkier character, which I'm absolutely fine with at all. He is a brute within the contents of G.I. Joe anyway, but yeah, they scale nicely. Let's add Snake Eyes and Scarlet to the mix, and here we have a nice roundup of the Joes from Wave 1 and 2. And yeah, it looks like a solid team, and you can see these new muted colours with these variants of Wave 1. They definitely fit more in tone with each other. Still not exactly how people would want them, but I said they've got sort of a more modern-ish future flair to them, if you will. I guess that's the excuse I'm telling myself, but they don't look bad is my point. For a bad guy comparison, here we have Gung-Ho next to Deathstroke, and again, Deathstroke's a big guy, but Gung-Ho towers above him too. For our Marvel Legends comparison, here we have Hellfire Hank and a Hand Ninja, and again, Gung-Ho and these G.I. Joe figures can be fudged into a Marvel Legends display if you wanted to cross the streams and have different universes collide. But something I do want to try out, if I move this Hand Ninja out of the way, let's bring in Skullbuster. And as you can see, these two scale very nicely together. Gung-Ho's just a little bit taller, but that's because of his hat mainly. If I take the hat off, you'll see what I mean. These two are virtually the same height. And you'll notice Skullbuster is holding a head. And that is the head of an extra Reaver, which is of course Reese. And a few people online have been using this Gung-Ho body to make their own sort of custom Reese to fit in with their Marvel Legends display. So I just wanted to, while I've got them open, see what that looked like. So there we have the Reese head on the Gung-Ho body. And you know what, the community are definitely onto something, but I don't think it's perfect either. Obviously, you can take off some of the accessories, you can take off his jacket. You'll definitely need to get rid of that tattoo because that's very unique to Gung-Ho and not the character Reese from the Reavers. And the skin tone of the Marvel Legend is different to the skin tone of the body, so that would personally annoy me. And it's also very high on the neck peg. It does pop on there, but it does sit a little bit high on the neck peg. But I guess you could fudge it into the collection. So I don't know how well that's coming across on camera, but the skin tone is definitely different. I can notice it, but I guess if it's on your shelf, you wouldn't. And the head does sit very high on the neck, but it's sort of hidden on the side profile by the jacket collar. So again, I do think the community are onto something. I just don't think it's perfect for me. I might just get another Skullbuster. Obviously, you'd have to remove the tattoo. You could take off the jacket if you wanted to, and if you brought two Skullbusters, you could have that jacket on here. There's definitely possibilities there, but bottom line of the head does just pop on there, no problems at all, no modding. All you had to do was pop the Gung-Ho head off and you can put the Reese head on there. And I guess yes, the answer is, could you fudge it into the display? Yeah. So final thoughts on Gung-Ho, I do think is a very nice addition to the classified series so far. He's definitely going to tower over the Joes on your shelf, so he's going to stand out. And I love how you can attach all of his arsenal onto the figure for display, like those weapons on his backpack. Little details like that do make a difference. And yeah, it's a shame that the hat is inaccurate, but as I said, go and check out Action Force Declassified Series Pack on Big Bad Toy Store. I believe it's an exclusive, and you can get yourself a little fix if those details mean a lot to you like they do to so many others. But yeah, overall, I like the direction that the classified series are going now. Now they've muted down the futuristic colours and tones and we're getting a more militant style. And I love how, again, these scale with my Marvel Legends and other 1/12 scale figures in my collection. It's like a separate sort of universe on my display, but all still in scale with each other. So I really like that. And again, if you wanted to, you could customize a new Reaver for your Marvel Legends display. display with that Reese head as well. It does pop nicely on there. And the articulation, I didn't really go over that much because it's a segment that bores me, but it is very nice on this guy. Same as Roadblock essentially, but with a little bit more, because Roadblock obviously had that vest done up where you can see here Gung-Ho has the vest open, so you get more range out of the chest area. But yeah, the dumbbell joint on the neck and the head gives you more range, and yeah, overall great articulation for this scale, more than you need, really, more than I would need for a display. But yeah, very nice figure. You let me know what you think though in the comments below. That's the most important thing. Let me know, do you like Roadblock? Do you like Gung-Ho? Do you like him as an addition to the team so far? Is he the right scale? Did the hat being inaccurate bother you? Let me know your thoughts as always in the comments below. And as always, if you want to see all the other G.I. Joe figures I'm reviewing throughout the month of June and hopefully beyond with Yo Joe June, go and check out the playlist and the videos tab, all of that good stuff. But most importantly, you like Marvel Legends and you're in the right place. Please, please, please hit that subscribe button. Much, much appreciated. Remember, you can hit that join button, become a channel member as well. Quite simply show some love or join the members club. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who, on Twitter at Dan Who Reviews. But as always, you can find me here on the channel and I will see you on the next one.